Boston Pizza harnessed Fanalytics to help optimize no-look dipping. Ooh, making adjustments so you can stay focused on the game. The playoffs at Boston Pizza, powered by Fanalytics.
Backs against the wall. The season's on the line tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. Hit that button, Aaron. Let's get into it with the lead. I do like me screaming that and then Aaron just very gently hitting the space bar to fire that button.
You gotta slam that button!
I want you to break the laptop next time, Aaron.
We need energy in here!
Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, a Sunday Sherwood Ford Game Day edition of the show, live on the Oilers Nation YouTube, where the first comment of the day, I love it. It's from Ryan, and it sums it up perfectly. Win at all costs. Run them ragged and pour it on, as Jack Michaels would say. Tyler Yaremchuk, Liam's here. Cowboy Chris in the video.
We got to get that energy going, y'all.
Cowboy Chris, nice and fired up. Scott,
I was told, manifest the energy. We will manifest a win. I don't know how the hell we got here. How did we get here? An elimination game in the second round? What are we doing here?
We're going to get into that. Also, we have a special Frank Seravalli appearance coming in a few minutes as well. In about 20 minutes, Frank Seravalli is going to stop by and tell us if we should be freaking out about tonight or not. But let's be honest, we're going to be freaking out anyways. Liam, I mean, we'll get into breaking down Game 5 in a bit here. But, man, season on the line. You have to win back-to-back games now if you want to move on. It's daunting.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely terrifying, to say the least. But if you want some good news on this, Tyler, the Oilers were in this spot last year when they played the LA Kings. And it was 1 year ago today that they knocked out the LA Kings in Game 7. So,
yep,
they've got it there.
And this is a team that we've seen in the regular season get hot, and they look borderline unbeatable when they're playing their best. The bottom line is we just haven't seen this team play their best. And that's it. Yeah. That's point blank. We're going to get into a bunch of different things today on the show, including what is going on with the goaltending situation, because we have some news on that. But first, let's look back at last game. A Game 5 loss where, I mean, you start so good. It was almost like the blueprint, or the same blueprint as your Game 2 victory in Vegas. You get an early power play, you capitalize on it, and it's like, here we go. It's going to be the Oilers' night. And they couldn't find a way to hold on to the momentum. And almost in a way similar to the Game 3 loss in Edmonton. Granted, that was a blowout, but some things didn't break their way, and the Oilers just had no ability to fight through it, honestly.
Yeah, it just kind of felt like nobody had legs outside of Connor McDavid, to be honest. And it's just like, eventually, like, in these games where you desperately need that victory, like, somebody else has got to show up as well. Like last game, only 4 Oilers got a point in 3 goals, right? And it's just like, you need better contributions from everybody offensively as well, and that just wasn't happening on Friday night. And it kind of got to a point where it's just like, it felt like they weren't going to be able to break through, and then evidently they were not.
I just don't understand why every second game we have to go through this. Like, why can't, and you thought they had broken it, right?
Yeah.
Game 1 become a flat, 2 hard, 3 flat, 4 hard, 5 hard. We're up.
Yep.
We go into the first intermission and we're like, okay, we've broken the streak. We're just going to continue to roll. And then 1 minute and 29 seconds happens where we completely just lose we lose everything and can't get it back. And it's disappointing.
So going through that game, again, I talked about the adversity and them not being able to fight through it. I'm not going to sit here and do my ref rant like I did after the Game 3 loss, because that game was not on the refs. No. That Philip Broberg penalty is infuriating because it's the guy at center ice calling it. That's ref in the corner is just staring at the play, and he sees what's happening, and it's Eichel's holding the stick. And hey, at that moment, that ref in the corner could have very easily said, both of you go in, holding the stick, holding. Calls nothing, decides to let him play. The ref at center ice, which I think was Kazari,
just sees an arm in
and makes the call, and that's what changed the game. But again, you could have fought through that adversity better. Matthias Janmark, why are you waving your stick like that in the neutral zone? You're not trying to stop a scoring chance. You're killing a penalty. There's no reason to wave your stick that way. The Fogle high stick was more of like bad luck. I don't necessarily blame him for that. And I mean, Jack Eichel ended up kind of negating it anyways by taking a really, really dumb penalty after. But yeah, I don't know. Discipline was an issue in that hockey game. And the other thing that didn't necessarily break their way, you get a 5-minute major, you get a 5-minute power play, but you get it with like 40 seconds left in a period. Right? Like at that point.
But they needed one in that 40 seconds. And then you've still got like 2 full power plays coming up.
Yeah, and they almost did, right? Like if they could have buried one in that 40, it would have been like, oh, perfectly timed. But you don't get one in that 40, and then you end up having to have a power play on fresh ice when you kind of don't have your momentum like that. They didn't look good for those 4.5 minutes. Their only goal was off the rush.
Yeah, the power plays that go over the periods are always tough ones, and I agree. Like, it's kind of like, you kind of wish that came at like 1940 rather than whatever it was the other side of it. But yeah, like a bit of an awkward one. But I agree with you, Tyler. I don't think the refs, they were obviously a big part of the game, but not in like a negative way fully to the others. It's not the reason they lost, but that call on Broberg was definitely a swing of what happened in that whole thing. Like if that penalty wasn't called, then the others probably don't allow 3 goals in 129. And for me, like that other ref has probably got to go up to his teammate and be like, hey, we're going to take both here because that was a missed call. Like,
I don't understand why they didn't.
Yeah.
Like, again, it would have been just so easy for that official in the corner to be like, whoa, not a penalty. Like, as soon as he sees that guy's arm up, he shoots his up and says, yeah, that's holding the stick.
So we're not going to go on the ref rant, though?
No, we're not.
No.
We're not. I know we just kind of did.
Kind of seems like we did.
Jay Woodcroft then makes the decision to yank Stuart Skinner. And that was, again, he's gone to this play a handful of times, and I've agreed with it almost every time except this one.
Mm-hmm.
But then Jack Campbell goes and plays pretty well.
Played pretty awesome.
And you almost get back in that game. Now, Jack Campbell's appeared in 3 games so far in these playoffs. 27 of 28, he stopped in the game against LA. 9 of 10 against Vegas the first time. All 9 in this second time, playing just over a period.
Is this the only way for Jay Woodcroft to say to his team,
wake up,
is to be like, Skinner, I've got to protect you from our team 3 times now? And you see Skinner comes off and Jay Woodcroft makes sure he says something to him. And you're just
probably not on you.
Of course, I mean, that's 3 times in a row. Yeah. Not on you. Yeah. The message had to have been every time, look, the team in front of you is shit and I'm protecting you from them. But like, it still can't feel good as Skinner. Like, and I didn't like it. I was like, that's twice you've gone to the well doing this. One time it worked great. One time it did not. We're doing it again. This is the second round. Let's let him finish it out.
Yeah.
If we're like, it's not a must-win game. So tonight we end up in this situation. He going to pull him in the middle of the second period?
That's kind of my thing too, is it's like, there's only so many times Skinner can hear that same message, right? Of being like, it's not on you, man.
Well, and the team times. Too, like the team looking at him being like, the only way that the team would feel bad is by looking at Skinner and being like, fuck, we did, excuse my language. Sorry, boy. Like, sorry, Skinner, we did this to you again. But sooner or later, it's like, okay, we did it to him again. We're doing it. Like, it stops having the impact.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think the goals that were allowed to, like, I don't think any of them were really his fault. One of them was a 5-on-3.
The one shot from far was not great.
I think
it was through a bit of traffic
twice. I
got to see those ones.
Yeah, his glove
you probably do.
He's given up a couple in the series on the glove side that are like, damn it.
Yeah.
The chat is a little bit torn. S is in with a comment and says Campbell has more playoff experience. And hey, I mean, Jack Campbell has 17 career playoff appearances under his belt.
You dance with the one that brought you. That's an old country hoedown. On Friday nights when we used to go down to the barn and go to a rootin' tootin' forced 2-step, you dance with the one that brought you. If Skinner doesn't start, I'll be super rattled.
Tony Brar of Oilers TV today from Skate. Stuart Skinner was in the starters net. So it sounds like Jay Woodcroft is going back to Stu. This is actually probably the one time, and again, it's been twice now where Skinner's been yanked and they go right back to him the next game. I've defended that decision both times. I'm on the fence this time. Jack Campbell, 17 career appearances, 919 save percentage in the playoffs in his life. 957 this year. I know they've all been relief appearances. He's been a good playoff goalie. This is a guy that stared down the barrel of Game 7 against the Tampa Bay Lightning for the Leafs last year, and he gave up 2 goals. He's shown over his career so far, again, not a huge sample size, but more than Skinner, that the moment's not too big for him. And I wonder if maybe that it could have given the team a spark.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn on it too, and I think this is the first time I've been like, oh well, what do you do?
That's a new one.
It's because of the team's inability to actually play in Stuart Skinner, not in front of him, not really Stuart Skinner himself. Like I said, I didn't really like that call the other night to pull him, but I think it's the right thing to go back to him tonight. It's just Campbell has that reputation, and I get it. He's played very, very well this last little run, but man, he still gives me the heebie-jeebies.
And that's where I kind of say, like, okay, no, Skinner is the right call. Like, this is why I'm torn on it. Because if you're going to run with Jack Campbell from this point going forward, I firmly believe there's a game where he costs you one.
Yes.
And you don't know if it's tonight. You don't know if it's game 7. You don't know if it's game 1 of the conference finals, right? If you're going to roll with Campbell and keep going, he will probably burn you at some point.
Maybe that speaks to just the confidence that Woodcroft has in that dude's preparation, because to throw him in a playoff game 3 different times, obviously they're cold, you know, and just to be like, I know he can go in there and not just get shelled cold. Like, I still think you got to put Skinner. DFO, daily face-off, goaltender.
It says
likely. That's a new one. I like it.
We're up in the lingo. I asked everyone a question or I put a poll, I should say, in the Oilers Nation YouTube. 66% of you agree with Stuart Skinner getting the start tonight. So you can have your opinion there. Drop in a comment as well. We are live on the Oilers Nation YouTube and live from the Sports Closet studio. You got this bad boy from the
I got this.
We're all
bad boy from the Sports Closet. Yeah,
me
look at the A. Got to get the A on there.
Yeah, got to represent.
I put it on. Nuge scored.
3 points.
Now I'm 1-1 with it.
Yep.
I'm going to ride it out. I'm going to keep it going, but I need a big game tonight.
I'm going back to Old Reliable tonight.
The Jesse jersey?
The Yesy jersey.
All right.
I mean, guys, back's against the wall. It's gut check time.
Yeah.
There's a mirror. Look at it. Because whatever you got to do, you do it tonight. Okay? 8 o'clock start. Do all the right things for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Do it for your mom.
Do it for your mom.
Yep.
But at 7:59, mom becomes the second most important thing going on. Okay?
All right.
Just kidding.
Giddy up.
Right, boys? My boys are sitting right here. Nobody knows that, but my 2 sons are sitting right behind the camera. And don't tell your mom I said that.
She'll never know.
She'll never know. Never know.
Let's get into some stats for our friends at Boston Pizza and their new menu powered by Fanalytics, deep fried pickles, beer mosa. Maybe, you know what? Done the show. Go cruise to a BP's. Beautiful day in Edmonton. Like, you're rocking.
Lovely.
They are shorts. People in the chat think they're boxers. They are indeed shorts.
Yeah, can you confirm that, Chalmers?
I can confirm they're shorts.
Yeah, they go down pretty hard. It's just he's sitting on a couch, everybody.
Yeah, look, it's got like...
Oh, look at Frank Seravalli tuning in at like the absolute right moment. Anyways, before we get to Frank, Fanalytics, some stats. In that game against the Golden Knights, only 38-42 of it was played at 5-on-5. A third of that game was on the special teams, 4-on-4 or 5-on-4. That is significant. And if you would have told me that at the start of the game, I would have said, Oilers blow them out.
Yeah.
It's weird that the power play couldn't win them the game, but really it was kind of their penalty kill hurting them. An all special teams game, I would have said, sign me up for it. But now I'm almost like, hey, the Oilers have kind of been good at 5-on-5 the last 2 games. I almost say keep this thing at 5-on-5 and you can win.
And I know I said the Oilers' depth didn't really show up during that game, but like you said, those numbers, like there wasn't really a flow to the game at 5-on-5. Like special teams was the big dictator of it. Like there's not very many games where you get a 5-minute major and a double minor in the same game. Like the flow of it just wasn't there, and I think that did play into the Oilers to Vegas's game plan maybe a little bit better. Ironically enough, you'd think that power play would be able to capitalize more. I guess it went 3-3, so I shouldn't say more. It was 3-3 at one point. What did it finish at? Because that 5 minutes obviously makes it look a little bit different. But either way, like I think if the Oilers
Vegas went 2 for 7, Edmonton went 3 for 4. It's funny. Yeah, that is funny to like read that stat line.
But yeah, the flow of the game I think dictated a lot not in favor of the Oilers at points.
The Oilers penalty kill in these playoffs 74.4%, so it's kind of in line with what it was in the regular season. But again, you'd like to see it like that 5-on-3 could have been a momentum turner in your favor almost, right? You just give up 2 goals, give up another one right after, and the game was almost out of reach at that point. Oilers going with Stuart Skinner tonight. We'll close our poll in the chat. 65% of you saying you agree with that decision. It is a Sunday Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show, and we're getting a special appearance from our boy Frank Seravalli whenever he pops in. It's brought to you by Star Mechanical, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. Frank, just chilling on a Sunday, hey?
It was picture perfect Mother's Day. A little brunch, some mimosas, a perfect 22 degrees, not a cloud in the sky here in Philadelphia, and top down on the Jeep. Now we've got some elimination hockey and a game 7 for the Sixers. So this is shaping up to be quite a Sunday.
Oh yeah, what time's the Sixers game at?
1:30.
Ooh.
Yeah, 1:30 Mountain.
It's in Boston though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but you'll be dialed into the TV. What a Sunday for sports for Frank Seravalli. Oilers face an elimination though, Frank, tonight. As much as I want to get your thought on the Sixers, we'll stick with hockey here. Should Oilers fans be worried? Did you see anything in Game 5 that gives you reason to believe that, okay, like, I mean, it's one game. You lose one game, you're done. So, like, yes, there should be some concern, but I think this team can still do it. They just have to bring their A game. Like, again, it's weird, Frank. Every time we've had you on talk about the series, we can look at the last game. Oilers shot themselves in the foot. That's it.
Yeah, and I would say it's actually a little more than that. It was interesting to get your perspective before I joined in, because I heard you say that you think the Oilers have been pretty good at 5-on-5 the last couple games. I would say if you're looking at it from afar, from a 30,000-foot view, if you were to boil down the first 5 games of the series, the real story is that the Oilers haven't been good enough as a whole at even strength, really. So that's kind of what stands out to me is, you know, you may be getting some quality looks and quality attempts, but you've got to outscore the opposition at even strength. And you need some of that, magic that you have from McDavid and Draisaitl. And last time I was on a couple days ago, what's the first thing I said was you need more from Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. And of course, he comes through with a 2-point game then. I know Zach Hyman, just looking at him, you can tell he's a little banged up, probably same with Evander Kane. But these are quality players and playoff performers that you should be finding a way to get more from. So I think as a whole, to me, that's the first thing I'm looking at. You said play the whole game at even strength. I don't know that that's the Oilers' recipe for success, given how it's gone to this point, but that's the focal point for me. That and keeping the puck out of their own net.
Yeah. Do you agree with their decision to go back to Skinner, or would you have been tempted to go with Jack Campbell?
This is the first time all playoffs long that I would have been tempted to go with Jack Campbell. I think the problem is, in an elimination game, it's the fear of the unknown. What Jack Campbell are you going to get? Does it resemble anything close to the Jack Campbell of the regular season? And I think also it puts limitations on you in terms of, you know, let's say you're able to win this game and then ultimately get past the Golden Knights in Game 7. How do you go back to Stuart Skinner? I guess you could, but the message after each time he's been pulled, 3 of them to this point in the playoffs, has always been, you're our guy. And it's clear that that same message is coming from Jay Woodcroft. And I don't think it's fair to pin all of it on Stuart Skinner, but I will say that he needs to be a lot better than he has been. So though I've had to think about it, like, you know, and what would it look like if Jack Campbell were in net? Obviously, that's not the direction that they're going, but for the first time, I really have some pause.
Yeah. If this game, getting Darnell back and Haig's obviously going to be playing, and then Pietrangelo coming back, if this game kind of gets rough, dirty, which team benefits from a game like that more, in your opinion?
It depends on Chalmers how many power plays there are. Like, I think the Oilers have a significant advantage in the power play, but it can't. You can't expect to survive based on that alone.
Let's say penalties aside, like it's more of the mental mindset of the mental warfare of going into corners. Who's less scared to go to the tough places and win their battles? Like, Kane's been a problem for me recently because I'm not seeing or hearing his name quite enough. Nugent-Hopkins obviously scored. Hyman, you notice him in front of the net. You notice him falling to make plays, you know, always that extra effort. But with Kane, I'm just not, I see a big hit and then disappears for like 2 periods. So that's what I would like to see, is for us to get down and dirty and win those battles. Have Kane, Bukestad, like Costin making those sacrifices.
Yeah, Chalmers, I would say advantage Golden Knights in that case. I think they're just a little bit scrappier, a little bit. I don't know if rattier is the right way to say it. Like, they just have
it's a perfect way to say it.
To them.
Yeah, Fair. What did you make of this quote from Alex Pietrangelo, his first media avail since the suspension, saying, quote, "It's pretty obvious what's been going on. It was premeditated stuff, I'm pretty sure. Department of Player Safety didn't seem to care, but I'll get up and take it. I'm not going to lay on the ice like what's going on." That's a loaded comment.
There's a lot there.
Yeah, I would say the first thing I think of is the sort of hacks and whacks that the Oilers have taken towards Mark Stone's back in terms of being premeditated. And then the rest of the stuff, like laying on the ice, like I don't know what he's getting at with that. Is he saying Draisaitl laying on the ice after the slash? I was trying to figure out and cut through what he was getting towards, but either way, I'll say Alex Pietrangelo needs to be smarter. That late in a game that the score's out of hand, Draisaitl 30 feet after shoveling the puck toward the net, he gets tomahawked. Like that's not okay in any circumstance. And I think, frankly, given that we had a 1-game suspension upheld for Darnell Nurse, he's incredibly lucky that he didn't get 2. I said it on on the show the other day. The Department of Player Safety, like, they took the most weenie stance possible, which was, we'd rather not influence the game and the outcome. We're just going to take the best defenseman from both teams off the ice for 1 game. And I thought that was a really poor way to look at it. To say that those 2 incidents were separate to me is absolutely crazy, but we're past that part now.
Yeah, it's in the past now. The Oilers got to focus on what is ahead. You got anything Oilers related, Liam, before I switch gears?
This is actually just about the Department of Player Safety. Maybe I'm just unfamiliar with it, but like, who comes to these decisions? Is it just George Peros, or is it like a variety of people that have this conversation, and is it George Peros that finalizes the decision?
It's a team of people. It includes George Peros making the final call. You have Patrick Burke, you have Damian Echeverrieta, and you also have former NHL player Ray Whitney part of the process as well. They're the ones that are sort of bouncing things back and forth off of each other. They sort of group think it, all put their decisions or their opinion into the pile, and George Peros considers it all and then makes the final decision. So that's generally and typically how it works. And I'll just say this, like, again, we're past it, but not to put too fine a point on it. The same entire group has been together for 6 years now. I'm not calling for anyone's job or anyone's head, but I think some change is needed to freshen things up in there, because if that's the decision that you've come to after watching how the other night played out, like, to me, I think you've lost the plot, because one part of that circumstance, you can say all day long, Darnell Nurse it's a textbook, way to incite play and act as the instigator. And that's accurate, but that part doesn't happen without the slash that came first. And so I just think they've totally lost it, and someone there needs to rein it in.
Well, and the other thing too, and I don't want to dwell on this too much because, like you said, bring it's in the past, but like twice in the regular season, they rescinded instigators too, so players could avoid the suspension. And all we ever hear about is how, suspensions are weighted differently in the playoffs, right? Like it's like that 2-to-1 ratio we hear sometimes. So why in the regular season was this rescinded twice, but then Darnell Nurse's is upheld? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so like, let's even just get rid of the 2 that were rescinded, and let's just talk about the factor and weight that you just spoke about. Yeah. So by that count, a regular season 1-game suspension is equal to a half game in the playoffs. Like, by that measure alone, you should be rescinding the suspension almost every time, even if it is textbook. And then to add in this other instance, which they can say all they want is totally separate incident and unrelated, I'm sorry, I don't buy it.
Yeah. I'm with you, man.
But all right. Of that said, I've been saying since the beginning of this series, and frankly, I've been saying since the beginning of the playoffs for the Oilers, it's almost like they don't really take things seriously until they get pushed around and put their backs up against the wall. We can talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs and their embarrassing second round exit and the changes that are coming there. The Oilers bowing out in round 2 to the Golden Knights is no better. So buckle up.
Yeah, it is a big one tonight for the Oilers. I would argue the difference is like this Oilers team and core and Jay Woodcroft and Ken Holland, they seem locked in, right? Like if the Oilers lose tonight, knock on wood, it doesn't seem like, big piece getting moved, coach fired, GM gone. In Toronto, Frank, there's a very real possibility that we see GM, coach, star player, all three like changes in all those departments, right?
I would say, first off, I'm not sold that what you said is factually accurate about the Oilers. And I would say, second, yeah, it certainly seems like some changes are coming for the Leafs, but we don't know what, because I think at the end of the day, the pickle that they worked themselves into last summer when even contemplating changes, Brendan Shanahan saying everything is on the table, almost every outcome that they came to was, if we do X, our team is worse off as a result just doing it. So in some ways, they are a little bit tied to what they've done. They can make changes, but some people in that organization will always be asking, are we cutting our nose off to spite our face?
Yeah. What kind of changes do you think the Oilers would make if this season ultimately does end in the next 4
What are we doing?
Yeah, let's save that for next week, maybe as soon as tomorrow, but we'll have plenty of weeks to talk about that.
Okay.
Frank, it's going to be 10 o'clock when that game starts there in Philadelphia tonight, correct?
Insane.
What a disaster.
Crazy. So your kids have obviously gone to bed by this point. You just watch it by yourself in the old man cave or what?
Yeah, I mean, I just can't believe if we're having this discussion of growing the game, you've got the best player on the planet starting an elimination game at 10 o'clock Eastern. Like,
it's crazy.
Sunday,
with no other games.
Not a single game on the slate. And I'm sure you saw Mark Spector's piece today, but it's American Cornhole Championships on ESPN2. And before that, it's Sunday Night Baseball. So it kind of, like, to me, it just speaks to how TV executives in the U.S. view hockey, which the stone cold hard truth is it's not that important.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because we've talked about on our podcast that a lot of the outlets have been saying this playoffs is the most exciting of the major sports playing right now. And that if you're not watching hockey, you're missing out. Every game that the Oilers play is getting tweeted by more and more famous American, sports media.
Tweeting about Leon Draisaitl.
And like tweeting in the moment, like following along with the game. So I hope it's growing and I hope it's helping because it
made no sense.
The East Coast is a huge market, obviously, to start a game at 10 o'clock. Just insanity.
It's
insanity.
Disappointing on so many levels. I can't even begin to tell you. It's that far down the priority chain for these major networks.
Yep.
Cornhole is electric, though.
Yeah,
it's probably pretty good.
I was playing some cornhole last night, and it was fun. Maybe not as electric as a big Connor McDavid rush to save the season in Game 6, but hey, different strokes for different folks, I guess.
What Oilers jersey are you going to wear during the game tonight, Frank?
Yeah, I don't have that in my closet. I got a lot of things in there, but that ain't one of them.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on, Frank, and giving us some time on Mother's Day.
Good to see you, Frank.
For the world. See you guys.
There you go. Frank Seravalli for our friends at Star Mechanical. If you need 24/7 emergency repair, 780-481-8873 is the number to call. Shout out to Star Mechanical. AMA Travel out of town scoreboard. Yeah, nothing going on. Crickets. Shout out to AMA Travel, by the way. amatravel.ca/dreams if you want them to plan your vacations for you. But boy, the Leafs.
The Leaves. Yeah.
The Leaves, hey?
It's going to be an interesting week or so for the Toronto Maple Leafs just to see what happens.
Our pal Nick Alberga is going to be having a good time on Leafs Morning Take.
So just for everybody that I was watching with and anybody like Tyler who said they felt bad for the Leafs getting knocked out this early and in this fashion.
I didn't say I felt bad. I said I wish they could get going.
My wife saying, I just want more Canadian teams in. And I said, I would rather an American team win the cup if the Oilers can't win it.
Yeah, me too. 100%.
And
I don't want the Leafs to win the cup.
I think and I tried to explain it, but what they don't understand is like, I don't have a rivalry with the Anaheim Ducks. I don't get faced with a Chicago Blackhawk fan all the time to have to argue about what Canadian team is. It's a Canadian-driven thing. So do I want a Canadian team to go farther? No. Do I feel bad about the Maple Leafs? Hell no!
You're yelling so loud. There's people outside having brunch trauma.
It's packed here.
Yeah, I know.
The atmosphere down at Dog Patch right now is absolutely killer.
Yeah.
I cannot wait for this game. It's just too bad we still got 6.5 hours to do it.
What's your prediction for the Leafs? What they do? Not in the playoffs because they're done.
Oh, man.
It doesn't matter.
I think Keefe's gone. I think Dubas is gone, too. I think they'll do a whole regime change, and I think there's a chance they bring back the core four, all of them.
It's going to be hard to move the core. I think Nylander's the only one people actually want. He was probably their best player in the playoffs. I mean, they'll want them, but can you get them? I guess
like
the question.
Matthews and Marner would have tremendous value.
Yes, but are they going to want to move on from those guys?
All right, let's talk Oilers. You're all in the chat. You want us to talk Oilers, and people were mad at me for not being optimistic. But Frank kind of caught me off guard when he dropped the.
I know.
I was like, what? Like my brain's going all these places. Don't matter. Oilers will win tonight. Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day. Let's get to our keys to victory for this matchup tonight. If you drop yours in the chat, you could win a #ONOilUp playoff tee from nationgear.ca. Keys to victory in this hockey game for me: stay disciplined. That is an obvious one. I will take it off the board. Listen, the refs have shown us in this series the Oilers will more than likely get their power play looks.
Mm-hmm.
The Oilers have shown us they are capable of being the better team at 5-on-5, even though, if, like Frank said, series as a whole, yeah, they've been outscored 12-7 at 5-on-5. That's not great. A lot of that came in the one game when you got blown out, though, is my counterpoint to that. And the Oilers are still out shooting the Golden Knights and out possessing them at 5-on-5. The long-winded way of saying, if you just don't take dumb penalties and don't shoot yourself in the foot, you're winning this game. So stay disciplined, control what you can control, and you're going to win this thing in 60 minutes. Charles, your key to victory.
There's lots of talk about 5-on-5 versus 5-on-4, how the Oilers do. 5-on-5, obviously, we've got to be better. But my keys to this game is every single player out there has to do what they do best.
Okay.
And they have to win their battles. You know, we're talking Nuge, Hyman, Kane, Yamamoto. Just stay within yourself. I think that Nuge was trying to do too much before at the beginning of the playoffs, and it was not working. I want to see a full team effort. And listen, when you step on the gas like game 2 and game 4, do not, for 1 minute and 29 seconds, take that foot off of it, because it can all blow up in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And once it starts to blow up in your face, stop it. Do your best to sit there, calm yourself down, and stop it.
Fair.
Liam? I have so many, because the Oilers games that they've lost have almost been exactly the same.
Yeah.
They score, then they allow one immediately. They don't play physical. Like, it's just all these things that just repeatedly happen. And I think as my big key is, I think the Oilers actually need to be physical tonight and play hard. Because when they play hard, I don't think Vegas, despite what Frank maybe says, I don't think Vegas want to play that way as much as the Oilers do. Yeah. And what was it? They game 2 and game 4, they bullied Vegas off the ice. Yeah. And they dominated them on a scoreline too. For me, the physicality and being bullies on the ice smartly is the key to victory.
This whole thing about them targeting Stone's back, like every single player in this series has either thrown a cross check or taken a cross check. To only hone in on the ones where a guy's hurt because he is a presence in front of the net, we could probably count that Hyman's had just as many in his back as Stone has fought. I don't want to hear any more of this. We're targeting. Like, that was such a stupid comment by Pietrangelo. It was such a stupid thing to say that we were arriving around.
He was referencing Kane's cross-check to him at the end of the first period of game 3. He said that was a premeditated thing.
No, there was 6 seconds left on the clock. The Oilers had just allowed a goal. And nobody was doing anything, so Kane's like, well, I'm going to do something.
Him in the shoulder.
Yeah, and
premeditated. So if we premeditatedly went after Kane's back and Pietrangelo's face, that is gamesmanship. That's what players do.
You play the other team's stars hard.
Yeah, you don't be super dirty about it, but they're premeditated to go after and double team Connor. They're going to be premeditated to go and stay on the right side with Leon. Like, don't nitpick. Don't pick these stupid things. I hate this guy.
Pietrangelo is on his heel run.
He's getting booed tonight every time he touches the puck.
Oh,
for me, he is quickly turning into Mark Scheifele.
Yeah,
Mark Scheifele for a long time was like, he's a really
cool
good
guy. Yeah,
really good hockey player.
Really good, man.
Then he nailed.
I feel that.
Was it Jake Evans? And then since then, just heel.
Was that
run.
Montreal?
Yeah, I remember that.
Right in the net. That was a big
greasy play.
Yeah,
and then afterwards, he's like, I didn't do anything.
Yeah,
and he's like, no, you really hurt that guy.
Yeah. Flying elbow in garbage time of a game. Yeah, that's a great comparison. Let's see what everyone in the chat is saying with their keys to victory. Maynard's in and says, don't let down after scoring a damn goal. Yes. You gotta keep, I'm hoping the crowd is a part of it too. Like, Oilers score, boom, keep it up. Everyone moving in the right direction. I like this one from Derek. Depth contributions and top 6 winger activations. Aaron, you want to flash up the Sherwood Ford lineup report here from our boy Bob Stauffer, who has this as the Oilers' expected lineup. Costin not on the ice, but he is expected to play in this hockey game. Listen, McDavid and Draisaitl, no complaints about them. I think the bottom 6 has been good for a lot of this series, but you could use 2 big goals from them tonight. You could use Zach Hyman waking up, Yamamoto, Evander Kane, Earth to Evander Kane. Like, let's get going here. I don't agree with them splitting up Kane and RN8 or moving Kane and RNH. I would have kept Kane with Draisaitl and Yamo, but like Evander Kane, man, hello. You're a big game player. This is a big game.
Took a morning skate today for the first time since game 1, I think.
Was working on his shot, so hopefully a sign he's getting healthier. Yeah. Sebastian is in and says the key to victory is Skinner. Man, if there was ever one for Stuart Skinner to steal. I know he was really, really good in that game 4 win, but, game 5, step back, but he always bounces back well. So I like Skinner as a key to victory. Quaddy's in and just says win at all costs. I like that. Final buzzer says less Yamo, more Costin. Yeah, listen, you need everyone going, whether they're playing 8 or 15 minutes in this one. Webster says do everything at 120% in this hockey game. Little man Lindsay, stay out of the box and shoot. I like that.
See, yes, lots of shots, but on the power play when Nuge gets it up in the high slot and he doesn't shoot it, let's not all get on his ass because there is a play to be had. And last game, my whole house is yelling shoot. And I'm like, guys, enough. And of course, he passes into the corner over for a goal. Anyways, Tim Keller, you bring that energy too, my boy, and cheers. We all got to bring the energy. But one more key to the game. In game 1 and game 3, we couldn't control the puck because they had pucks on sticks. The reason they get pucks on sticks is what I tell the kids is, when you guys are going out there, over-exaggerate everything. If you think this is what a toe drag feels like, this is what a toe drag feels like. In game 2 and game 4, they were not getting their sticks on our pucks. We had pure pressure because we had the ability and the strength and the energy to over-exaggerate everything. That is how you have to do it. If you don't do it tonight, they will be knocking it off your stick. We will never get the flow, and we will lose this game.
La Bamba guy says the key is manifesting the W. Show Vegas who the better team is, who the better fans are, and run them out of the building. I love it all. Let's do a quick draw here for some Nation gear. Got a bunch of your names in the wheel. It is spinning. It is spinning. And the winner is barely. Oh, I mean, if they were watching that, JT would be upset. Little man Lindsay, you're our winner. Shoot me an email.
JT, it was a slipper.
So email me, little man Lindsay, Tyler@Oilersnation.com, and we will hook you up with one of these bad boys, the playoff tee for 2023. Hashtag ON Oil Up. Giddy up. Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show. It's a big one. It's a big one.
It's a big one. I don't know how.
Getting more.
I don't know. I know. And when Frank, and I hadn't done this yet, when he said that if we don't make it out of the second round, we are on the same plane as the Maple Leafs, that hurt. That just simply hurt. And right then and there, I went, holy shit. This is like, I knew this was big. I knew I had nerves. But to put it into that perspective, considering at how bad they're getting, and the expectation that we had every single time that graph that you guys put out, it's not a Venn diagram, it's a pie chart.
Yeah.
Ours is getting smaller every time now, and I cannot stand it. We have got to do what you got to do, people. Stay up late, cheer hard, let's go.
Connor McDavid speaking to the media saying, quote, we're going to have our best game of the series. I certainly hope so. They'll need Connor McDavid to show up, but that brings us to our cooler question for our friends at Greta and Labatt Canada. A nice crispy Bud Light on the table with a question that says, pick an unexpected hero for tonight. Chalmers, who's someone maybe lower in the lineup, a little unexpected that you think can come through for this team?
We were talking about this before the podcast, before this show, and we were thinking about players. Now, I don't want to do two, but if one was going to be a defenseman, we need to see CeCe come through. He's been rushing the puck a few times. I'd like to see him get lucky, but my unexpected hero is going to be the same one that I've kind of had this whole playoffs. Every time he gets the puck, I just see the 7 on the one side, and I go, this guy's looking good. It's fast, and it's Foegele. Yeah. And I go, hey, Foegele, nice. You're looking fast. You're looking strong. Tonight is the night. It has to come together for you. Your line has been playing great. You guys have been cycling the puck beautifully. They've got that behind the net crisscross thing going down. Fogle, it's time to bury.
Yeah, everyone in the chat is saying the unexpected hero would be me and the romper. We will see.
It is an elimination
I know
game.
it's an elimination game, so I really only wanted to pull it out for game 7s, but we will see. Also, Little Man Lindsay's in. It's Tyler at Oilersnation.com is where you want to email me saying you're the winner. Here's some other unexpected heroes. A lot of people saying Derek Ryan. A lot of people saying Ryan McLeod. A lot of people, including JT and our boy B Clean. Nady's in with it as well. Darnell Nurse. Wouldn't it be something if Darnell Nurse could fire home a big goal in this hockey game, get some offense from the blue line? Nurse is my pick, Liam. Who's your unexpected hero?
I can't believe this one hasn't come up yet, but I'm going, it's just come up. Clem Shady. He's come up big in the playoffs so far for this team. My other one I thought of was Yamo because quite simply it's already happened. So those guys are showing up in moments, but there's a lot of options, but I like that. I like the Fogle one especially. Webster
is in, says good luck and we'll do it. Thanks for the show. Watching from Bavaria in this one. He says, see you in game 7. So he is fired up for that one. Talk a little sports betting, Liam, maybe?
Let's do it.
Maybe a little betting for our friends at Betway. Hit it. There we go. Cha-ching. We desperately need a win in this Game Day Big Bets Challenge brought to you by Betway. Liam, the Oilers are big-time favorites in this hockey game, which is mildly annoying. But I am going to take my pick first here. Oilers puck line. Jay loves his mega money line. I'm going mega puck line in this hockey game at plus 120. I think the Oilers come out of the gates. They play well, and I'm manifesting here, baby. It'll be a blowout Game 6 victory, just like 2017 against Anaheim. Same situation. You were on home ice facing elimination in the second round. Leon Draisaitl scored that famous hat trick. That was really the moment where he arrived as a star in this league as well. I think the Oilers have a special Game 6 in them tonight. What do you like, Liam?
Yeah, that was his big moment. I'm going a little bit bigger, but similar idea. Oilers money line over 6.5 goals and a Connor McDavid goal. I think the Oilers will be firing tonight. And if anyone's going to be firing, it's going to be Captain. What's the saying? Captain, my captain or something?
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
All right. Jay's taking the Oilers money line and McDavid 2+ points, but he's not here today. Chalmers, what are you betting on tonight?
Okay, so it's an Oilers must-win game.
Yep.
This is going to be one of those games where I hope that it's not I hope that we are blowing them out and we don't even have to worry about this. But if we are not, then the puck line is going to come into play with an empty net goal for that relief, for that decompression. But my second pick is going to be a pick that is hitting in these playoffs at around 78%. It's a second period over.
Wow.
Ooh. Second period over in the playoffs has been hot. And I said it at the beginning of the second period that it was not hot or in this game against the Knights. And then 1 minute and 29 seconds happened and we got our over. So second period over. Do it. It's 1.5.
I also like, this is the bag milk special. Total power play goals over 1.5 is minus 138. At Betway, there have been a lot of power play goals in this series. I mean, 4 or 5 of them in the last game. So I like over 1.5 power play goals as well. Total shots on goal over 64.5. I mean, there's been 208 so far through 5 games. So that would mean we're a little under that number. Actually, that's only at 5-on-5. What am I even talking about? We're way over that number when you go at all strengths because we're 300. So well over 300. There you go. Maybe over 64.5 shots on goal as well. Sprinkle on a few things here.
No face-offs tonight?
No, I can't get a good read on the face-off line. What are you saying in the chat? Rusty says, hey, why not Vinny Desharnais at big Game 6 hero as well? BMG's watching the show from Germany. What is up? Chemo's predicting a 5-0 win. A bunch of stuff about me wearing the romper. Spleen is in and says Kulak. That's clearly Aaron's burner. And Lion T says Devin Shore as the unsung hero. I don't think he's going to play. I think he's just a placeholder in the lineup for Klim Kostin, who is a little banged up and missed the morning skate. Odin says Nurse goal exactly the way Clefbaum scored back in 2017. Boy.
What? Tonight, unexpected guys obviously need to show up, and it's moments like this that legends are made. So let's do it.
Giddy up.
What are we gonna be? What individually are you even having a beer?
I might.
Am I gonna have a rye?
Probably. That seems to be your brand.
But it's Sunday. And I don't usually have a rye on Sunday.
What do you usually have on Sunday? Beer?
No, I don't usually have anything on Sunday.
Drink. Okay.
I don't drink on Sundays.
Okay. But it's the playoffs.
I know. And that's the problem is there's just too much tension. It's just too hard.
I know, it's so nerve-wracking, bro.
Yeah, I think do what got you here, everybody.
Yeah. Do what got you here.
And crowd, tonight,
drop your game day traditions. What are your superstitions? What do you do on game day? Drop them in the chat.
go crazy tonight if you're going to the game.
That building should just be exploding.
Are you going to the game, Thomas?
No.
No.
No,
Locked in the man cave?
Locked in the man cave.
I like that.
See if these boys can stay up that late, but it's been tough. So
8 o'clock.
you think you can do it? I love it.
He got the thumbs up from behind camera from his kids. There you go.
Good.
I think we got to do the hill chants tonight. What are those things they call it?
Yeah. Or do you go Aiden?
I think hill.
Yeah, I kind of like Hill more.
I think sometimes when people chant,
Aiden doesn't work.
yeah, when you do the first name, sometimes people get confused.
A little bit.
So I think if you're there tonight and you hear it started, get involved.
914 save percentage for him in last game. He's been pretty good, actually.
He played very well last game, to his credit.
Yeah. But 7 goals in 2 games, so giddy up.
Yep. The Oilers can do it. They just need to be better in their own end. That's where it matters. The Oilers can score goals all day. Yep. If they don't perform on the other side of the red line, then it's irrelevant.
Derek says, go crazy. Boo Petrangelo. Waz is in and says his Derek Ryan jersey doesn't have a good record. Maybe you don't wear it tonight, Waz.
Switch it up.
Switch it up, big boy. Streeter says an Evander Kane hattie incoming. He is so due for a hat trick. This guy loves scoring
This is his longest streak without one.
If you like Evander Kane to score a hat trick, 28-1. Courtesy of our friends over at Betway. I may even sprinkle on a Draisaitl hat trick tonight.
I don't know if I can go in the hat trick direction, but I love the passion.
Got to manifest, Liam. Come on.
I don't care. I want if it could finish 1-0 as long as the Oilers have that one goal. That's all I want to manifest tonight is an Edmonton Oilers epic victory royale.
People talking about shower beers? Sure. Why not? Benjamin's pregame tradition is shower beer and Nickelback all day. I don't hate that at all.
It's very Albertan.
That's very Albertan.
I love it. I love it. The game when they play Burn It to the Ground is the Oilers intro song. And the whole crowd does the hey. I think that's sweet. Should be rocking tonight. Mospit should be rocking as well. And hopefully Evander Kane, maybe empty netter.
That would be nice.
Year 2 of him chucking up the 7. That'd be something. I know you guys are throwing that around. Yash had that in the chat with the 2 emojis.
We shouldn't be happy to get to a 7th game. This is just not so where we should be right now. It doesn't matter. This is where we are. And this is what we have to do. Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Fair enough. All right. Here's to hoping the Oilers will be playing La Bamba at the end of the night and sending this series back to Vegas. Thanks for tuning in to a Sherwood Ford Giant Game Day edition of the show, live from the Sports Closet studio. Shout out to Frank for hopping in and Star Mechanical, Boston Pizza, their new Fanalytics menu, AMA Travel, Betway, Greta, and Labatt Canada. Chalmers, send us away with a nice yeehaw.
Let's go, Oilers! Yeehaw!